Hello, minasan. It's Hisako again. Hey, I just thought I'd do a quick little video to actually talk about something maybe a bit more serious. I actually wanted to do a video to talk a little bit about hateful comments. Because sometimes I do get that on my channels, unfortunately. I tried to do a video about this before, but I didn't really feel like I covered everything I wanted to cover, so this is a second shot at it. But doing what I do with henshin, yes, sometimes you get some comments that are less than stellar. They're just not very nice. And it's taught me that, when you go online and you go on social media and you put yourself out there, you do have to develop a thick skin, because people will say unkind things at times. So you have to develop a thick skin, and I've gotten better about that. But in the beginning, those comments definitely hurt, and they were definitely not very nice. But I've learned to get past them and not let it stop me from doing what I want to do and doing what I love. So to address that a little bit, what I do with Geisha henshin, some people may find controversial, because oh, you're not a real geisha, oh, you're not Japanese, you can't do that. Yes, I'm not a real geisha. I do henshin, which is its own separate thing, and I have a previous video that you can see further down on my channel in some of my earlier videos where I actually explain what henshin is for those who don't know, because it's not a widely known term. So I understand that, but I would highly recommend go watch my video about henshin if you don't know what it is I'm doing is. So highly recommend that. But henshin's kind of its own thing, and you don't actually have to be Japanese to do henshin. Again, I'm always very honest with people about, no, I'm not a real geisha. I have learned how to dress the part through henshin, but no, not a real geisha. I wish, but no. But yeah, some people just don't seem to understand that concept, so they make assumptions and then say comments that are very negative or hurtful, or sometimes even racial in nature. And it's disappointing when you see that, because it makes it seem like people didn't even see what you were doing. They just made an assumption about it and ran with it, and I always hate to see that. But you can't control what people are going to think or say, so there is that. But yeah, it's painful sometimes to get that, but I've also learned not to let it stop you, and because I know what I'm doing, and I have so much support from my friends, my family. I have supporters in Japan who are actually Japanese. I actually have other geisha that have liked my stuff, real geisha. And so that always makes me feel really good to see that. So I know I'm not doing something I shouldn't be doing. That being said, yes, to do geisha henshin, there is a right way and a wrong way to do it, and there's definitely a wrong way to do it, which is why I've taken great care to make sure I am accurate and I am respectful when I do henshin. I've also modeled my henshin after a specific region in Japan. My henshin look is not even actually modeled after Geiko in Kyoto, which is who we mainly think of when we think of geisha. But there are geisha all throughout Japan, including Tokyo. And my henshin look is actually inspired more by the geigi, as they call them, of Tokyo, Yokohama, the Sakata geisha, all those people. They have a little bit of a different style, so I tend to model my look a little more after them to be more in keeping with that. Instead of wearing kikizuri, I wear regular kimono, for example, like they do. So no, I'm not modeled after Kyoto Geiko. I'm modeled more after geigi from places like Tokyo and Yokohama. But I always think what they do is really cool, because we don't see those geisha get a lot of interest as much as the ones in Kyoto. So one of my goals through henshin is to hopefully bring more interest to them as well, because they are still very much geisha. They're just not thought of as much as the ones in Kyoto, but they are still very much part of that community for sure. But yeah, like I said, I don't let the hateful comments stop me from doing what I love to do. There will always be people out there that are unsupportive of what you do, no matter what it is. Whether, whatever your dream is, whatever you're trying to achieve, there will always be people that tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that, because I said so. And that's kind of a dumb concept. These are people that you don't know, have nothing to do with you, you've never met them, they don't contribute to your life in any way, so why was I letting anybody tell me what to do? And so that's kind of the mentality I've taken with it. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, because I know what I'm doing is respectful and incredible, and a great way to experience, a part of Japan's culture that is kind of fading away. Geisha is kind of going away, which is so unfortunate. So by doing henshin, I'm hoping that in my own little way, I can kind of help spark interest in that and kind of keep that alive, because it is such a fascinating part of Japanese culture that I've always been fascinated in ever since I was little. So in my own way, I hope to do that. Obviously, I could never be a real geisha. And not to say that it's not possible for foreigners to be geisha. Not in Kyoto, but in Tokyo, it is possible, but it is extremely challenging. It is very hard. For those who don't know, we actually had a American geisha once by the name of Kimicho, who is no longer a geisha, she's retired. But a lot of people don't realize that we actually had an American woman as a geisha, who was also not Japanese, by the way. And she was very much loved and very much supported by her okia and her patrons. But people don't always research far enough to realize that before just saying something, you know what I mean? So as a foreigner, yes, it is possible to become a geisha in places like Tokyo, but it is still extremely challenging and not easy. What I love about henshin is it gave me a way to kind of experience a little bit about geisha culture and kind of play around with the look and learning to do dances, and eventually I want to learn to do shamisen and tea ceremony like they do. It gave me an outlet and a venue to kind of participate in a way that I could actually do it, while still being honest about what I'm actually doing, you know what I mean? I never tell people I'm a real geisha, because I'm not. But I always love to tell people about henshin and what a fun experience it is, and it's given me something that brings me joy and purpose, especially after the last few years of my life having a lot of rough spots. My mom passed away, I had lost a job, I had had several of my pets pass away. It had been a rough couple of years, and henshin had kind of sort of given me life and inspiration and drive again. So it's a big part of my life now. I left cosplay completely to do this. So long story short, because I know this video is getting a little lengthy, I just don't let anybody stop me from what I'm doing. They are simply hateful comments and nothing more from people who are not only unsupportive but unknowledgeable on the topic, frankly. And it doesn't have any place in my world. So it's not part of my world. I just keep moving forward. And I would recommend that for anybody who has a dream. Don't ever let anybody stop you from fulfilling your dream, whatever that is. There will be people along the way that tell you no, or tell you you can't, or make fun of you, or whatever. Just keep going, because life is too short not to. You miss so many opportunities when you give up. And I've had opportunities in my life I gave away because I gave up because people said, no, you can't do this. And I regret that so much. And now I have a chance to do that, so I'm not going to let anybody get in my way and stop me from living my life. I wouldn't stop them from living theirs, so why would they stop me? So just because somebody is nasty to you does not mean you should give up. Do not give up. Just keep going, and don't listen to them. I know that's easier said than done, but just tune them out, because they really don't matter at the end of the day. And most of these people at the end of the day, I think, are people that are very unhappy themselves, unfortunately. And instead of trying to find what makes them happy so they can get to that point in their life, they just tear down other people who are happy. And that's so unfortunate to see. And I hope that they're able to grow beyond that eventually. But yeah, that's just a little bit about hateful comments and how I feel about that, and that I'm not going to let it stop me from pursuing my goals and my dreams, and you shouldn't let it stop you from pursuing yours either. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video, and you guys take care and have a great day. Take care, guys. ありがとうございました。